Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Marton Csernai, and I'm very excited to be here. Um, I will be talking about uh, identity, privacy, and security in the new age of AI agents. Briefly, a little bit of background about me. Um, I come from a research background. I did a PhD in telecommunications and network science. Then was a postdoc at the neuroscience lab. And in 2018, I joined the crypto scene. And I was working at Kilt Protocol in the Polkadot ecosystem, which was mainly about credentials and decentralized identity. And since 2024, I started building my own project around AI agents, AI agent platform, and how we can work together with AI agents as humans in a seamless way. So the content of the talk will be, I would like to give a brief overview of the current identity concepts, what privacy implications those have, what are the security mechanisms that we can attach to these concepts, and then put them together into actionable items. So what is an AI agent? Like jokingly, you could say that it's easier to build an AI agent than to explain what it is. But more concretely, I would say it's an autonomous software entity that acts on behalf of users and makes decisions and executes actions. Now, you could say, or you could see that how we go from simple automation to an AI-based workflow and then to an AI agent. And the main concept is that an AI agent is a fuzzy and autonomous system, and the reliability is much less than in the simple automation. And so the identity of an AI agent, the key thing to see here is that AI agents have distinct identity needs that account for their transient nature and their delegated authority. So human identities are quite static, and AI agents need dynamic content-aware identities. Also, we can think of it as ephemeral identities that reduce attack surface, but this also complicates auditing. And delegated identities must preserve chain of custody for compliance. And as a simple use case, we can say that in a healthcare, like a diagnostic AI agent would be accessing patient records that both need ephemeral session identity and a persistent organizational identity. So the key challenge is that AI agents are both autonomous, but they need to be constrained. And one of the key problems is over-permissioning, which we can see there was a big agent breach in Microsoft due to a broad use of the Graph API access. The current frameworks are moving towards accompanying or accommodating AI agents, but we don't really see the ready-made frameworks for AI agent identities. And also, like, monitoring is super important, and traditional security information and event management tools miss 73% of AI agent anomalies. So one key thing here is that OAuth 2 already handles 80% of agent authentication needs. The key thing, or like what you need to be aware of, is the proper scoping of these OAuth authorizations. And so the technology is there. It's just we have to use it the right way. And so regarding decentralized identity systems, we have two approaches that we can take here. One is a simple peer-to-peer decentralized identity system, which is based on this conflict-free replicated data types. This is the same technology that Google Docs uses. Basically, you can edit documents with your colleague at the same time, and there are no conflicts. Somehow, there is a protocol to make this happen. And the other concept is the blockchain-based decentralized identity, where there is a central source of truth where the identities are anchored to. And both have their pros and cons. One thing to note is that revocation, authorization revocation is challenging in the peer-to-peer version, easier to do in the blockchain-based version. But the blockchain-based version incurs a bit more delays and costs. So it makes sense to use hybrid approaches. Like, for example, for routine operations, one would use the peer-to-peer approach, and for higher value operations, you would use the blockchain-based part of the identity. So regarding privacy in AI systems is a feature of identity management, not just data protection. So zero-knowledge proofs enable proof of compliance without data exposure. So trusted execution environments can provide model confidentiality. Differential privacy can help with agents learning capabilities in a private way. And for example, ChatGPT already provides a way to opt out from getting, so that your data that you enter into ChatGPT and ends up in their training data, you can opt out from this. So it is also like this, you have to find that little box in the configuration of ChatGPT and click it, and then you're already in a much safer, more private way. Regarding security, I would say that AI security requires moving from perimeter defense to identity-bound defense. So that means that usually in human-based identities, we secured the resources. Here, we have to think about what kind of authorization we give to each of our agents, because in many cases, we will work with a whole agentic framework with hundreds or thousands of agents running in that framework, and they cannot have the same authorization that comes from my user identity. And there are ways, for example, agent-to-agent TLS prevents man-in-the-middle attacks for multi-agent workflows. Behavioral attestation can use machine learning to detect agent drift. And also one of the case studies, like a 50 million deepfake scam, shows that we need to have continuous authentication, which means that it's not enough to log into a system once and then use that for months, but there is a need for AI agents to be authenticated continuously on a per request basis. So a bit about regulations. regulations are converging on auditability as the cornerstone of AI. So one of the main thing in Europe is the new AI Act that's becoming active this year. Fines up to 35 million or 7% of the company's worldwide annual revenue. So that's the amount that governments can fine a company. So it's pretty steep. In California, there are new regulations that say we need a meaningful human review in the process of handling with AI, and yeah, so there, just in general, there is a need for compliance strategy to implement immutable audit trails around agentic systems. And also we have an emerging ISO standard for AI management systems. Regarding implementation, just a couple of things to note. We have to secure delegations chains, which means the authorization and delegation. So I delegate the right to my agent to tweet in my name, but maybe it cannot read my tweets. It can read other data. So that's what we mean by delegation chains. And context awareness. Context is super, super important for AI. And we want to monitor how the context gets put together and how that can leak out. So a bit about current protocols or emerging protocols that are built on current systems and protocols. OAuth extensions now. So if you look into the OpenAI API controls, there's a huge level of different scopes that you can set up for your API keys. And this is the way that we see that there's a very, very high level of fine-grained control for OAuth scopes. Verifiable credentials is a concept that's been around for a couple of years, and now there is a new action force around AI agent identity. Also, other policy-based access frameworks and conventional Kerberos systems start to integrate and handle agentic systems. One thing to regarding like what's coming in the future, on-device AI or on-device agents, which means that we will be able to run an agent on our phone, which is pretty cool because it can use the data that's locally available on my phone, and then that agent will somehow authenticate, will get its delegation or authentication from my phone or from my accounts that I use on my phone. And this is a really interesting. So I will not. I wouldn't even need to go to a central place to get my credentials, because I could have my credentials already on the phone and everything on the phone. The other thing, cross-platform tools and analytics, and also like system integration. Like that's one thing that's probably going to be a very not high, but very important part in the next years. How do we integrate agentic workflows into current legacy systems? Okay, so just to put this into like a context or wrap it up. First point, use OAuth scopes, and you are more or less more or less on a good way or secure with authorizing your agents. We don't need completely new authentication systems. The other point is privacy starts with the training data, what goes into the training data, what can leak out from the training data, because all the other things they didn't really change. The only thing that changes with AI agents, what got into the LLM that we're using, and if we fine-tune that LLM with our private data, then we don't want that to leak out. So that's number 2. And then the third point regarding security, I think that security in regards to AI agents and agentic systems will be compliance heavy with human oversight. So you could say that you could automate a lot of compliance things and reduce the amount of human intervention in the last in the last decade. And now I think we will move in the direction where we have already a lot of automation for compliance, but now we will have to put back the human into the loop in very, very crucial points of agentic workflows so that we can monitor and control the outputs and the operations of agentic systems. And I think this will be more or less what I wanted to talk about. As a wrap up, thank you for your time, of course. If you want to learn about what we do, then please go to our website. You can reach me on Telegram or on GitHub, X. So with Gigentic, my project, we are building a platform where we can seamlessly integrate human professionals, freelancers who can build their own AI agents, deploy it on the platform, and monetize them. And they can do this. They can build their agents and connect their own private data. And then by using the platform, they can share the revenue with the platform and then build a reputation for their agent. And we are thinking about focusing on the compliance aspect, how the human freelancers, human professionals can check the work that their AI agent is doing and sign off on that work when they deliver that to the customer. So that's one of the key concepts in our platform. All right, well, thank you very much, and looking forward to connect. And if you have any questions, let me know.